Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I've got some work to do. I want to repot this Macodes petola. As you can see, it's going nuts in this pot. And basically the way it grows is it would want to get this growth down towards the media, and then it would start pushing new growths out of that. And that's kind of the way it expands and grows a new growth. And as you can see, it's at the edge of a pot, so it's got nowhere to go. And since it's a terrestrial orchid, it can't really grow orchids in the ear. So I want to get it repotted. So let me reposition you and let's get to work. Okay, I hope you'll be able to see this better. So I've got my tray. I got the terracotta pot prepared, the clay pot. So yeah, I'm thinking to maybe pot it in something like this, because it's shallow and it's got kind of a lot of area for this plant to grow in. So it's gonna be quite an upgrade, but I mean, it grows really fast. I got this plant, I think it was about maybe June or July last year, and right now it's May, so it's not even really been a year. And all I've got was this little cutting, which is, it's now kind of laying here like that, flat on top of a media. When I got it, it was a small cutting like this and just kind of standing upright. So I potted it kind of towards the middle, and it bloomed for me. And then after it finished blooming, I think I even cut the spike a bit earlier because I was a little bit worried that it's only one small cutting. And it blooms for so long, and I wanted to kind of encourage it to start working on the new growths. So yeah, I cut the spike, and yeah, kind of went from there, and it went nuts, you guys. It's got quite a lot of roots as well, so I am just trying to not to damage them. Yeah, it even attached, you see, it even attached to Leca, which was at the bottom of the pot as crocking. So yeah, it's a terrestrial orchid, so it grows, all the roots grow inside the media, and you might be able to see it's got kind of hairs on the roots, and everything attaches to those roots because of all that hair. So I'm finding it quite difficult to remove the media, and I obviously don't want to damage all these roots. So we'll see how we go. And yeah, I think it will do a lot better in a shallow pot. I mean, it pushed out, I think, 4 directions of growth. If you look at this, I've got this is still growing. As you can see, this leaf is still coming out. Then I've got this growth here, which as well you can see it's still growing. And then there is 2 over here. So this one is still growing. It's still opening up the leaf. This one, I believe, oh actually yeah, there is still a small leaf in the center still coming out. So yeah, I've got 4 directions of growth, and I got that out of a small cutting, and all that happened within a year. So it's extremely vigorous. A lot of people are kind of scared to grow this plant because apparently it's a very high humidity plant, but honestly I never had issues with it. My humidity is around 40–50% in the room, and I don't provide any extra humidity to this plant. I don't, some of my plants might have a cover on top to kind of increase the humidity, but again, I only do it on the plants that have no roots, so that, because if they don't have roots, then they can't bring moisture up from the media, and then I need to help them out. I need to give them something else to get the moisture from. So then I would use kind of a plastic bottle or a bag to put on top. But if a plant has roots like this one, so it's not got a massive amount of roots, but you see it's more than enough, isn't it? They're obviously covered in media, and it's very difficult to take it off, and I really don't want to damage the roots. But I'm gonna put it in Leca and Seramis this time, so I would quite like to get this bark off as much as possible, or at least the moss. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I honestly don't want to damage those roots, so if it will be attached to the bark, that's okay. I think it will probably expand so quickly that I may need to repot it in a year or two anyway, and then I can get rid of this, the rest of the bark, if I'll be able to. So yeah, the amount of, you know, bark it will have in the whole pot. I mean, this is a pot we will use, so even, you know, that amount of bark in here is really not gonna be that awful. So, but yeah, I'm really happy that these roots are so happy. You know, roots are happy, so I'm happy. Yeah, they seem to be doing pretty well. They've still got some growing root tips. And honestly, I'm just gonna stop handling it now. I noticed that terrestrial orchids, they usually don't really like their roots being touched with hands too much. I think it's maybe the oils in the hands that are maybe kind of, you know, the roots are not too keen on. So, and I think especially terrestrial orchids, they seem to be more sensitive to, you know, to being touched than, say, aerial roots are, or the epiphytic orchids. Their roots seem to be a bit kind of harder, and they're not as sensitive, whereas terrestrial orchids, they seem to be a lot more sensitive. It's just kind of the feeling I have, I guess. It's, you know, I can't really base it on much experience because I don't have it, but yeah, I don't know, it just seems like terrestrial orchids are they just seem to be a bit more sensitive. So you know, I don't want to be handling it too much. So I'll leave it as is. Let me get rid of all of this, and I'll be back in 2 secs. Okay, I'm back. I don't have much space here, so I'll try and be, you know, to make this as clear as possible. But yeah, I think I'll just put a layer of Leca at the bottom. I would quite like to find a big bead to put it at the bottom here, so it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, anything kind of doesn't fall out. I'm not gonna put any microfiber in here. I will keep the spot in a saucer like that, and when the water will drip in here, this spot will wick the moisture up itself, and plus the Leca and Seramis will be able to pick that moisture up. So yeah, there is no really need for microfiber, I think. So let me, sorry for the noise if it's too noisy. But yeah, I'll put a layer of Leca like that, and then let's try and position this plant. So the way I want to position it is with a thought that all of these growths that are standing up right now, they will probably want to lie down in later on so that they can push the new growths out. So I think that I'm gonna have to take it closer to this side, because when all of these will be lying down, they will kind of go towards there, and that should give it enough space to do it, hopefully. So I guess maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that should be okay. So I'm just gonna alternate between Leca and Seramis and just fill the pot up, and I'll speed it up for you guys. That's it, all potted up. Sorry for the camera shaking so much. I really need to get a new tripod which is a bit more stable. But yeah, so I guess I maybe just didn't qualify very well what I was trying to say about, you know, my humidity is low but a high humidity plant is doing well. So What I do is, and this is why I think that Leca and Seramis will work better for this plant, is this plant, I keep it basically pretty damp on the root front. So the media never dries out, and I never let it dry out completely. So previous mix I used was kind of seedling bark, Seramis, and some pieces of moss. But because it never dries out, you know, that bark will go off pretty quickly. Whereas Leca and Seramis, obviously it's inorganic, so it shouldn't go off at all, which means that I will only need to repot this plant, you know, when it actually outgrows the pot. So yeah, I hope that it will do well here. Leca doesn't seem to be drying out too fast in my environment, which is also good. And as I say, I will keep water in the tray so that, you know, the pot can wick the water up, and then Leca and Seramis can wick it through the whole pot as well. And obviously, as I will be watering, I always water from, you know, from the top, not from the top from here, but around the base of the media. But the water runs through the media as well. I don't just pour water in the tray and let it wick up. You know, I water it throughout here as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope it will do well. Yeah, it will have some room to grow now. This side of the pot, as you see, it's pretty much empty, so it will have room for kind of lying down to be able to grow more, because I think that all of these grows eventually they will lean down, because that's what the main cutting did as well last year. So, and you can even see these ones, they are already quite flexible. So this one is also already trying to kind of lie down. So that's what they do, you know, that's just the way they grow, which I find very amusing as well. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got Macodes petola, let me know how you grow it, and do you find it a fussy plant? I honestly find it so easy to grow. I've got other plants that are a lot more fussier, and you know, they're not, they shouldn't be. So yeah, let me know what your experience with it is and how you grow it. And I hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!